I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks.
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. Good morning, Jim White, Dave White, and Super Dave Weldon.
Hi, everybody.
Top of the day.
Morning, everybody. Morning, Jim.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
Like so good. You ready to say the pledge?
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
All right, let's do it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for patience and in making the good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God, and it's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
As a reminder, anything and everything you hear on today's show is not the opinion of JFWs. It is just the expressed opinions of this man in this room. Podcast stats, episode 220 had 270 downloads. We are at 110.8 thousand total downloads, and we have 956 followers. I didn't tell you guys this, but Sunday was kind of a sad day for me, but the day before was a Saturday.
Ba-da-ba. Well, I'm going to jump right in there then, Jam.
Okay. I was
Are you done?
I got one more.
Okay.
Just in the space of St. Patty's Day yesterday. What's Irish and sits outside all night?
An Irish sitter.
Patio furniture.
That's a good one. That is a great segue because that's what I've got is two St. Patrick's Day jokes.
Let's do it.
Do you guys know, what do you call a bulletproof Irishman?
Don't know.
I ricochet.
Nice.
And then what do you call an Irishman who hangs from the ceilings?
Don't know.
No? Got nothing, Jim?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Come on. He's a chandelier.
Wow. Love the accent. You do good accents. Jim, what do you got?
All right. So I do have a bar joke also. You guys
Oh,
got to
boy.
follow me on this one. What do you get when a stoner, a Jedi, and a surgeon walk into a bar?
A stoner, a Jedi, and a surgeon.
Yeah, that I have no clue.
Right?
I loved it. Blunt force trauma.
Very good. Nice and creative. Is that all you got?
That's it.
All right. That was a good one.
So I got a few classic dad jokes. I think one of them has been done before, but you'll let me know, I'm sure. What kind of music do mummies listen to?
Sound of silence.
I was going to say crypt music or something.
Something rap.
Rap music.
Oh, there you go. Good job,
Yes.
Jim.
And Jam, this one's kind of like for you. What do you call it when Batman skips church?
Oh,
I think I've heard that one.
yeah, I think I don't know.
It's a good little riddle.
Like Missing Robin or I don't know. There's something.
No. Christian Bales.
Oh, man. That's a
Yep.
good one.
That is a good one.
Yep. And this one I think I've done, or somebody here has done. How do ranchers keep track of their cattle?
Counting.
Close. With a calculator.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep.
Bada boom.
Nice.
Very good. New employees. We got Jaden Wright and Jonathan Brinkley. Welcome to the fleet, man.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Jaden, I'm sure Jonathan is equally as amazing. I did have a few encounters with Jaden yesterday, and he's just got a really good attitude, and he's a young up-and-comer that isn't scared of anything.
That's awesome.
Yep. Anniversaries, we had Julio Cyan's had 1 year yesterday. Happy anniversary, Julio.
Yeah.
And then
anniversary.
Yep.
Georgi Giga Lilashvili and Brent Carter celebrates 2 years today.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
You like
Guys.
his?
Yep.
You like his nickname? Is that why you're giggling?
Yeah.
Giga?
Well, we try to do Brent Carter, but they can't even. It's just a plain Brent and Carter.
I got some names. I got some names for Brent. I'll tell you later. Man, we had a big birthday this past Sunday, the 15th, that being Jim White. Happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you.
Happy
birthday, Jim.
Yeah.
And also, it's Marshall Blanchard's birthday from next door.
Ah,
Yeah.
I
Happy
didn't
birthday,
know
Marshall.
that.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that either.
What's kind of cool is he doesn't work here, but he got a bunch of birthday wishes on Connect yesterday, and he ended up answering.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
I love
Happy
it.
birthday, Marshall.
Yeah, happy birthday, buddy.
And then Alex Big Flex Corral had a birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Alex has not been here but a couple months. He's got a big old nickname already, huh?
I just made it up. You could tell that man's in the gym. That's why.
Oh.
Let's see. Family birthday celebrations. Ontario's daughter, Justina, has a birthday on Friday. And then Rich Fleckenstein's daughter, Peyton, has a birthday this Saturday.
Ah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah, happy
girls.
birthday.
That's awesome. Shout outs. Just talking before the podcast here, we want to give a shout out to Kathy because she's really stepped up and has been kicking ass and taking names in her position and other roles.
Yeah, absolutely. Jam's really stepped up, doing a great job. And I know she's got quite a bit in the discussion topics, but we need to, I know we'll go over it, but, she talks about being driver support here, which we all talk about being driver support, but man, you guys have to support her too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's doing a big job and for her to be able to support you, you have to support her. It works both ways.
Do what she asks.
Yep.
Mikey wants to give a shout out to Gandhi in 0017 on a topsoil delivery he made the other day to our transmission builders. His wife said our driver was very nice and professional.
Wow.
That's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Gandhi.
Yes.
You sure wouldn't expect any more, any less from Gandhi.
Not from
right?
Gandhi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Gandhi as well for me with his Meta glasses. He actually filmed his DOT inspection yesterday.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Dale wants to give a shout out to 0039. Oh, who's in 39? I looked.
I can tell you.
All right. Anyway, he let my wife and my family over in bad traffic on I-70 today.
I did see that. That's good too when you recognize that and have one of the trucks. Because you never know. We talk about it. You never know whose family is around you, right? Or
Joseph Garcia.
Yeah, that's one of the new guys. Yeah.
Very nice, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you.
It's nice to hear good news.
Yep. Yeah, when you
It is, isn't it?
not a call in where they cut them off, right?
I want to give a shout out to Elio. So yesterday, I was mentioning Jaden. Yesterday was Tuesday, Jaden's first day in his truck. He was going to shadow Armando, who's at the other yard. He came in the office. He says, hey, it's my first day. My Samsara is not working. Got him set up on that. He's like, all right, I'm going to go do the pre-trip on the truck. I had like 4 things going on in the morning. So finally, when I was able to, I'm like, I should probably go back there and help him work through that DVIR, because like people been here a long time can't do it. You know?
Mhm.
Well, anyway, I get back there and Elio has got him right under his wing. He's got his dipped his foot.
Man,
He's like
that's awesome.
walking through the pre-trip with him. It really warmed my heart to see Elio step up and, just showing him the ropes, man. And that's pretty awesome.
That is great.
Yeah.
Good job, Elio.
Thanks, Elio. Appreciate that, man.
I want to give a shout out to Varela. He is still listening to the podcast and doing the knowledge challenge while he is out on
That's awesome.
paternity leave.
Keeps you in touch, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just good to see that's somebody who's interested in the company.
Yep. Yep.
Which is great.
Yep. Can't wait to see you back, bro.
Yep. And then I got shout outs from Jimmy Gui Villagrana or Villagrana. He says, good morning, gentlemen. I wanted to give a shout out to Kendrick and Dale for the quick response to always giving a helping hand to us at Yard 23. Shout out to Ricky, Teddy, and Sam for the tire repair yesterday morning. Remember, slow down, high road up, orale.
It's a good one, Jimmy. Thank
That
you.
is great. Yeah.
Brother Dave, how many shout-outs you got?
I have definitely two, but for multiple
Awesome.
people here. I wanted to give a shout out to Scooby, Kendrick, Dale, and Sam's here for spring break. So we have a little wall job we're doing over there at Yard 23. And
Keep hearing about this wall.
it has impacted us a little bit because it's not really a little job. I mean, it's almost 250 of those blocks. So,
How tall is it?
it's only 4.5 feet tall, but it's 340 feet long.
Ooh,
So
great wall of JFW.
right. And anyway, it's not what we do, but it's what we're doing. So it's a bit challenging at times, and everybody just jumped in. You know what I mean? That's the cool part about it. Everybody just jumped in. They can see what's next, what the next steps are, what needs to be done, and nobody's gotten upset or anything. So it's been kind of nice. And then I also wanted to throw a little extra shout out there to Scooby. Good luck. I guess Angie's getting a hip replacement today, and good luck, buddy.
Thought it was a knee replacement.
Time to stay home and play Dr. Scooby.
Hip replacement.
Take care of your patients, but it's going to require some patience,
Yes.
right?
This isn't just free Scooby time.
Right? That's just taking care of people is another level.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to have
my DNA is not like programmed for it. I am not good at it.
Nope.
And I don't have a lot of patience for it. So Sam and Janet, I apologize now, which they know me. They've been around me too long to not know me, but it's tough. That's a whole nother level to care for people.
I want to interrupt your next shout out because I want to give a shout out to Scooby as well. I was at my buddy's house on Saturday. He was having problems with his pressure washer, and he's showing me these fittings and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know where you could get one of those, but I got a guy. Let me call Scooby.
I got a guy.
Yeah. And him and his buddy, like, they looked at each other. They're like, we need to get us a Scooby. Called Scooby and had like some pictures I sent him, and he tried his best to help from where he was.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. They're like,
That's
we need to
awesome.
get us a Scooby.
That is great.
Yep. You got one more?
I don't, Jim.
Oh.
That was it, buddy. Those were my two.
Gotcha. Anybody else?
No, good. I just, kind of chimed in with you about Kathy.
Oh, okay.
She just really, really stepped up. And then,
Yep.
I mean, not really with the shout out, but the block wall, when you ask about the block wall, Jam, and I just did the math on it, and we left room so you couldn't hit the wall when you raise the tailgate up, because that's where the first set of trucks will park, the first 30.
Oh, I thought it was to keep the vagrants out.
Well, it'll be a little bit of a fall if they, 4 foot 6 inches, it'll be a jump for them.
That's what the free range mace cans every 4 feet along the wall are for.
Don't know where those came from.
and the 10,000 square foot voltage, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it's 3,850 square feet.
Wow.
Of parking.
Wow.
So it adds up when you do that.
Yep. What was it, Jim? 3,800?
Yeah, 3,800 square feet. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, it gives 11 more feet for somebody to back in or back out or pull in from the shop. So
you guys literally increased our value.
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The land is precious over there.
That's great. All right. Drivers doing it right this week. Dustin Shiner Courier.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go,
I
Dustin.
saw that. It was great.
He's probably been on the list before when in
Mhm.
doubt it, I think so.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
All right, jumping into the meat and potatoes here. There are still many drivers who have not signed the PIT 21 site-specific training and connect. We need all drivers to sign this sheet by the end of the week. Guess what? If you don't sign it, you don't go to PIT 21.
Yeah.
And if we don't have any other work for you, I guess you'll be off that day. But
Yeah. And we talked about this before the podcast because we mentioned possibly not bringing anything up because we've had, you said 91 or 92 people that have done it, Jim?
yeah,
Yeah, there's probably
105. I think there was 105 people have completed it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
yeah,
we
so
need
there's probably
15 people.
maybe 10 people that haven't.
Yeah.
And we need to get you signed up. We need to get in there, but it's not, you need to do it.
Yeah, all you're doing is going in your Connect team, going to courses. It could be found in courses. You open up the signature document, you read it, and you sign it. It's not a test. All you got to do is open, read, and sign, and then you check that box.
And what does it have to do with?
site-specific training at Pit 21, just safety,
Right?
safety,
Just safety.
safety, their policies for the pit, what you need to know about that place, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty important stuff.
Yeah. So in your
Absolutely.
Connect down at the bottom, you see your feed, your assets, your chat profile. Click on assets, then go to courses, and it's right on the top.
Bam.
Boom.
First one.
Done.
Boom. Did you do it?
I did.
Nice.
I didn't do it, Dave.
We need you to do it by Friday, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do want to haul out of Pit 21. That's like
I do.
a really busy place.
I do, right? But that's, I know we read that on the podcast, but that all has to do with speed and safety, and the same thing we're fighting down at the new asphalt plant. And not only are you aware of it because you've signed it, but they will kick you out of 21.
Yeah.
And then we talked about it. If it's in violation again after you're on your 30-day probation, I believe it was, you're booted for a year.
Yeah.
We got to start taking this stuff serious, a lot more serious than what we seem to be.
So,
Jam, you mentioned it. We're talking about it. We're going over it. The people are taking our quiz. They're aware of it, but we're not doing it. And why are we not doing it?
Yeah. The theme of today's discussion topics is basically, all paperwork, speed, doing things the right way, doing things the way we've asked you to do them, the way we've trained you to do them. And it's just not getting done. Honestly, it was a little disheartening writing this outline yesterday because it's like, wow, we're still not uploading our tickets into Sidekick. Like, wow, we're still for 3 weeks. This is the third week in a row. We're discussing the same things, but it's not getting fixed.
I just think we need to drill on the ones that aren't doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like the Pit 21. I think 90% of our people have, and we need to focus on the 10% that aren't.
Yeah. I think we bring them in for a meeting.
Absolutely.
That seems to really.
They need phone calls and hammered, and why aren't you doing your job? That's the bottom line.
They've already had phone calls. They've already had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need a sit down meeting, I think.
Well, maybe they need to read the definition of situational awareness.
That's bad. I mean, you did the whole podcast, Dave, about accountability.
Right.
And we've done accountability in how many different forms and doing your job, and we're not getting that done, But we're also, we're sitting here complaining, and we got, let's say, 98% of everybody just kicking ass.
Yeah. So if you did it, we're not talking to you.
Yeah. Turn off the podcast. No.
Yeah. If you did it, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for making our lives easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for being involved in,
Caring.
situational awareness,
Caring.
all the stuff, putting the shopping cart back, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right. Let's read something positive, mostly from Kathy. I wanted to give some reminders that I think are important to our drivers. Some reminders for some and maybe new info for the new drivers. First, I just wanted to say that we have a great group of guys here at JFW and girls. The drivers are very respectful and kind when I call them, and I appreciate this very much. Usually when I call the drivers is to ask them questions about their loads, uploads of tickets that are not readable, punches in Connect, or tell them that they didn't do something correctly. This is never fun having to call these types of things, but usually these are small things. I just wanted to let the drivers know that my job is driver support, along with Joanne and Ryan. We are here to make sure you guys get paid and paid correctly. If I call you and leave a message, please call me back. It's most likely will have to do with your pay in the end. Whether if it's your punches in Connect or your time on a JFW ticket, or maybe you forgot to upload your paperwork, it all has to do with your pay. We are still having drivers not uploading their paperwork along with the ticket number as he automatically ticket number as a BOL and the tonnage. We need all three done. When you enter in the tonnage, this automatically creates your pay. There are a few drivers who repeatedly do not put in the tonnage on a weekly basis. Also, for all you drivers who fill out a JFW ticket and you have a dispatch and Sidekick to go along with, please upload that ticket and enter your hours, loads, or tonnage, whichever one applies, and the JFW ticket number. This goes for hourly jobs as well. For cause loads, please enter your JFW ticket number, not the scale ticket number. If you are filling out a JFW ticket for wait time, downtime, or hourly job, please fill out the start and end time on the ticket and what that ticket is for. For wait time, you are supposed to let dispatch know that you are waiting, and then your wait time starts after 20 minutes. Coors the exception Coors is the exception to this 20-minute rule. Lately, I've had to make many phone calls about missing info on these JFW tickets. Please remember that you are asking to be paid hourly on these JFW tickets, and we need all this info in order to pay you for your time. Last thing I want to mention on the JFW wait tickets is for Arcosa. Someone at Arcosa needs to sign that ticket in order for you to get that wait time paid to you. We must have a signature. If you ever have any questions in regards to your paperwork, please contact me, and I will be glad to answer your questions. Thank you again for your help. Overall, I think things are going better with this new system now. Smoother, I believe. Keep up the good work. Double smiley faces.
That's great. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like I said earlier, everybody needs to help, especially when she's calling you trying to fix your ticket and get you paid.
What's crazy to me is anytime I do something that involves me getting paid, I like to make sure that
You go get paid.
I've done my part to make sure
Right.
that I get paid correctly.
Right.
Imagine being a driver out there just not filling things out right, not caring if they get paid correctly or not. I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there where if you're not doing your tickets the right way, you're just not getting paid on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're trying to call you
Nobody's-
and get it straight.
yeah,
So we can pay you.
nobody's calling you to be like, hey, what did you do? They're just not paying
Right.
you.
Yeah, they're just
Right.
not paying you.
The thing is we got to get paid too. So we need the information.
Yep.
So good job, Kathy.
I thought it was really great to hear that the new system is working better. I mean, that's been a long time coming.
Smoother, I believe.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I know I spent the day with our CPA yesterday, and I know, we got the first 3 months and switching at the end of the year there, that was probably my mistake and shouldn't have been done, but everybody told us it was possible, which it was, but it just brought a lot of garbage over, going in and out of two systems. But
Brought a lot of tears.
Yeah. The last 3 months, though, I mean, it's right on. I mean, the reports we did yesterday for looking back at February and things were all spot on. Things are coming together. Looks good.
Nice.
Giving us the information we need to get.
That's awesome.
It's good stuff.
I'm glad that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, from dispatch, got a complaint on Monday and a new note from Garrett on speeds at Sedalia and Pit 11. Here is his email. So
Excuse me a second. Garrett is a bigwig at Brandon, just so you know.
I was about to say that. Just so you know who Garrett is, he runs the asphalt division.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey guys, I just got reports from our plant operator in Sedalia about all trucks driving too fast through the asphalt plant and the entire Sedalia property. Please note, while our posted speed limits are important at all of our sites, they are especially critical at Sedalia with the new space, the tighter working area, and the outside public's eye on operation. Additionally, I was notified of speeding at Pit 11. Please remind your drivers to observe the posted speed limits and adhere to them. We will manage the half-inch load from APC and was also told a fines truck dumped into the RAPS recycled pile. Please, if any of your drivers are not 100% certain on where to dump, please contact myself, Cody, Patty, Peyton Briscoe, the plant operator for Sedalia. We also had the wrong material brought to Sedalia. So not a very good look for us.
Not a good week.
No, a brand new haul, brand new location. Been telling everybody about it. And we go down and just make it look like we never dumped a load.
Acting brand new.
Brand new. Yeah. Rough start.
Yeah, this is, it's frustrating, upsetting, disappointing.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to they're trying to get a brand new plant up and going, and they're having to deal with us.
They should be like, wow, we got a trusted partner in JFW just knocking out of the park down here. We don't need to worry about the delivery part of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not giving that. And again, it's a few people struggling,
Right.
but we can't have that. Me and Dave talked this morning that, do you haul a few loads and all of a sudden it's okay that you screw one up? Is that okay? Or does the doctor go in and go, hey, I meant to do your left knee, but I only did your right knee when I replaced it.
It's my first time.
That's okay. But I've done a couple.
Did the wrong one.
Right. I did a couple hundred, knee
The right way.
replaces.
I did 100 the right way.
Yeah, I screwed it up. There's no there's no braking. It's like having an accident, So I've driven, 500 miles. Oh, I got 500 miles, but it's okay. I have an accident. There's never an okay for delivering the wrong material, the right material, speeding. There is just not an okay. It's not doing your job.
All things in your control.
Yeah, every bit of it. And
Sounds like situational awareness.
Yeah, and we're they're our number one customer. They're our biggest customer, however you want to put it. But we're also their number one hauler, and it sure doesn't look like it.
Yeah, that Sedalia asphalt plant is something they worked on for years.
Years, Dave.
They were trying to get that permitting, God, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the neighbors there did not want it, but it was approved by Douglas County. So we have to be at our very best. Speed wise.
They're under a microscope down
they
there.
are.
I mentioned that on the radio this morning.
Yeah.
And
we have to be. We have to be.
Yeah. Imagine if it was JFW at fault for them losing their permit.
Oh my gosh.
Because we're speeding.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yep.
So the way I write these outlines lately is we have a podcast chat on Connect where anybody from the leadership team, dispatch, admin, whoever, can just go in there and put something down that's been going on around here, whether it be good or bad or a shout out or whatever needs to be read on the podcast. And it's all just centralized and really nice. And man, the last 3 weeks, it's been the same things being written.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to make a note of some of these things that are still going on, we're not checking our tickets on the scale, right? When you get loaded and you get on that outbound scale and you print that ticket, look at the ticket before you get off the scale. Make sure it's got your truck number, it's got the right material, and you're going to the right place on that scale ticket before you ever move up that scale, because the easiest, fastest, most assured way to fix that is right there on the scale.
Sounds like situational awareness.
Pay attention to details, I think.
There you go.
Yeah. We're still uploading wrong tickets into Sidekick. So if you know you have the wrong ticket, why would you upload that into Sidekick? That creates a bigger problem. Now we got to fix 2 things, okay? Make sure you have the right ticket before it goes into Sidekick.
Well, I'm sorry I got to interrupt again. I think that's a clear indicator that they're not even reading the ticket. They're just
absolutely
just
all the
going through it.
Sidekicks.
So everybody, please go through your tickets. Make sure they have the right information.
Yeah, because the thing that it comes down to is we have to do something to get you to do this, and the logical option to this is if the ticket's not right, we don't pay you.
I think that's the answer.
And we don't want to do that. That's not the game here or the reason. Or
I think it's fair though.
It is fair.
Yeah.
It is fair, Jam. If you can't get it right, it's the small part of your job you need to do.
Yeah. We're still not uploading the ticket every round.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've asked that twice in the last 2 podcasts, right? After you pull off the scale, pull over in the topping area, upload your ticket to Sidekick every single time. We're still dumping in the wrong places. I don't really know what to say about that, except...
It's not like it's new because we just did it yesterday.
Yeah.
Sounds like situational awareness.
That is situational awareness and paying attention to details. Get out if you're not sure, if you can't tell where you're dumping. I don't even think it's a situation where, I couldn't tell what's in that pile. It's just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Make sure you dump it in the right spot. Talk to the loader if you don't know. Get out of the truck, walk upstairs, do whatever you got to do to make sure that's going in the right spot, because that gets very expensive very quick. And then I got a note here. Are we next level or not? Like when I think of JFW, we're next level, top-notch company, but we're just not acting like it right now. Not everybody. Most people are doing it great.
Yeah. Yep.
But we all have to do it great. Every single load. So, anybody else?
Yeah, I think we really need to pay attention to this because we are on the verge of getting really busy. And when things get really busy, we're under the gun even more. So if we're just maybe a little bit lazy right now because we're in the winter mode, we need to snap out of it. And we need to get ready for busy times and more tickets and more different materials and more dump spots and different customers. And, we have always been this, and I learned this from you, Jim and Dave, years ago. If somebody calls us to haul a load, we're going to haul it. And we're not going to say, no, we're sorry. We, don't have a truck available to go to Wyoming or wherever. And so as we move forward over the next few weeks and into the next 8 months or so, we really got to step it up and get ready because we're about to get real busy.
Sounds like situational awareness.
And I think that, Dave, was not that plant scheduled for 100,000 tons this year?
I'm 80 to 100,000. Yeah, I'm almost sure that's what it was. Yeah.
So that, you talk about, us being slow or not having enough work or all this other stuff. Here we've went out, we've been waiting for this customer to get this online, do all these things. It's happening and everything else. We just picked up a customer for another 100,000 tons of material or whatever our portion is. It's more than what we had last year. Right. And again, they're counting on us to do it right in front of the public, for them, for their customers, for us, and we're not getting it done. It's not happening. You can't just expect to have some more work and us go screw it up. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's like 4,000 loads going down there this year.
Yeah.
We want to haul every single one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. Somebody input up here that was still doing is hauling heavy out of LG Fort Lupton going to CMEX. Heavy is over 92,000. We're getting loads over 93,000. That's another thing we're tired of trying to beat into the ground. We're just not going to send you back there. If you can't haul legally out of there or within our policy, we'll just send somebody else instead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yep.
We're going to have to find a run you're capable of.
Exactly.
Right. If you can't not speed down at plant 13 or Sedalia plant, the asphalt plant, you're not going to go there. If you can't fill out the stuff for pit 21, you're not going to go there. We just
can't run.
We are capable of dumbing it down.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I think is because there'll be other trucking companies. There'll be the independents they use to pave down at Sedalia.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be other people hauling, their portion of the inputs. And I think it'd be probably Coleman. You might see Calabrese trucks. Like I said, they're independent fleet and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's pushing you or say something on the radio or whatever, just tell them to go around you. Go on. Stop and pull to the side. I don't know how wide the road is. Let the other companies go by. Let them get in trouble. You be a leader. And then when we accuse everybody of, hey, quit speeding down there, you can go, hey, it wasn't me. I let the other truck go by. Check my camera. Whatever. You also have to be defendable by doing the right thing. And we do the right thing. So let's be involved.
I know I keep throwing it out there with the situational awareness being a smart ass, you guys, but I saved this for the end and I can't wait. But the definition of situational awareness is the ability to perceive, understand, and anticipate your surroundings and potential hazards. It involves continuous environmental monitoring to integrate information with knowledge, forming a mental picture that helps predict future events. Key elements include observation, orientation, decision, and action. Is that not every single thing we're talking about here? If you don't have situational awareness when you're driving out of this yard and Jim and I are sitting there in our vehicle and you go past us at 15 miles an hour, do you have any situational awareness? I don't think so. If you backed up and dumped crusher fines on top of recycled asphalt, you don't have any situational awareness. If you, whatever the case may be, I can go on and on and on and on. And the point is you have to be focused on what we do. We didn't put these rules in place because we just make shit up. When you pull off the scale and you have your ticket, you need to enter it in Sidekick. When you deliver, you need to complete the transaction. Everything we do has a reason why. And it's just not that difficult. Like you guys said, over 90% of the people have filled out the stuff for Pit 21. Why haven't the other 10%? Do they have any situational awareness? Are they just too busy to take 30 seconds and read that and sign it? You need some situational awareness, probably not just here. You may need it elsewhere in your life. It may benefit you, so
I don't know. I had to put the definition out there so I just didn't sound like a smartass the whole time slipping in situational awareness. But every single thing we've talked about has been situational awareness today. Every single thing.
Yeah.
Dave, you never sound like a smartass.
I know it. I'm hoping it gets to someone. Maybe I should try a different
And
approach.
the thing is on your that you just read, Dave, a mental picture. And I all these podcasts, and I'm a big believer in it, or we try to talk about it. It's the what if. That's just another way to look at it. Is the what if is a mental picture of what's going to happen next. What do I need to do? What's just like our driver scores, that's an anticipation of that light changing, or I'm coming up to a stop sign, or traffic's backing up, or whatever. You're forming a mental picture, situational awareness, all that stuff.
The elements include observation.
Right. It's all grouped
Right.
in one, pattern or picture. Our CPA yesterday, and it's kind of like your closing thoughts, Dave, and we can go over it again. But, he was taking a couple courses, and they were talking about computer programs and what you might run into. And his guy that was giving the lecture was, if it is predictable, it is preventable. And think about it, you guys, how much we predict around here, and we try to make it preventable. And we're struggling with that. There's so much that is predictable, but that is a mental picture of what's happening.
I agree. BD, you want to talk about the airlines and your truck building air slowly?
Yeah. So PACCAR has some inherent bad products, I guess. I'll put it out that way, that we are fighting. Our air compressors work so hard keeping up with our air systems. And what I mean by that is we have airbags on, 4 corners of the tractor. We have it on 4 corners of the trailer, technically 6 corners of the trailers if you count the 2 airlift bags. It runs our PTO, it raises our hoist, it does everything. But we are overworking and just overworking those air compressors, and they're pumping, some oil, some carbon. They're super hot, right? So what's happening is we're carboning up. I'm just going to call it that. It's a combination of oil and carbon, and it's within the acceptable limits of the air compressor's manufacturer.
The oil it's pumping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's happening is it's carboning up our air line that goes between the air compressor and the air dryer. And when a big chunk breaks loose, it plugs the air dryer. We can't build air. We're down. And it could happen at any time. But prior to that, if you guys would pay attention, if you come in and all of a sudden, you didn't notice it Friday, but Monday morning your truck is building air really slow. It's all day long you fight how long it's taking to build air. You need to let the shop know ASAP. We need to replace that line on between the air compressor and the air dryer, because it's carboned up and it's full of shit. And at some point, we don't know when, some point during that next day or those following days, if you've been fighting it for a while, it's an issue, but at some point it's going to plug up and you're down. You are just, wherever you're sitting, you are down, because that clutch won't engage, the transmission won't work. You know what I mean? Back in the old day, if we could get you to 60 or 70 pounds of air, we could get you to limp it in. The new stuff does not work like that. That air compressor and that computer, it will not allow us to do that. We can't buck the system that's created on there. So if your truck is building air slowly, we need to know about it. You need to have a conversation with the mechanic. You need to write it up on your DVIR and talk to somebody about that and make them aware, because we need to fix that truck tonight. And it will save you so much time. I mean, you could be broke down for 4 hours on the side of the road for us to replace that airline. So benefit yourself. That's, again, situational awareness. Friday my truck built air fine. Today it's not, right?
Yeah, and I was when I read that, Dave, because I know the problem we're having, and I can just picture it, is that as hot as the compressor's getting, the airline's getting hot, it's actually burning the oil, sizzling it and turning it into crusty oil. It's carbon,
Yep.
just like Dave said. But I was trying to come up with a good thing is your truck building air slow? what is that? But like you explained, Dave, is one day it seemed pretty good, it was fast, and you don't think it is, you need to say something.
You got to say something.
And I wanted to mention, if you're, filling in different trucks, or you've driven different trucks or stuff like that, and you get in one and you go, well, wow, mine yesterday built really fast, this one's slow, write it up. Help us out, help a fellow driver out, help the shop out. Because if they stay on top of this, they're not going out for a service call. This is being taken care of, and we have a replacement airline. It is a thing, you guys, and we need to tackle it. The new trucks have been redesigned. They've done a different air dryer, all sorts of different stuff.
Different air compressor too.
Yeah. We'll never order a truck with this air compressor, Dave. You're right. That's where it'll start, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that upgrade or that different compressor. But I guess I was trying to just again come up with a way. Is my truck building air slow? I guess ask a friend, or get in somebody else's truck, or I would like I guess to take a truck that we know doesn't have any carbon, Dave, and time the air up.
Yeah.
Pumping it down to 60, because we can help ourselves with this. This is a big deal.
Hands
that's
down.
Part of your DOT check. It has to build a certain amount of air in a certain amount of time, and I don't know what those numbers are.
I don't either, Dave. I mean, I should just look it up.
Look it up, but
yeah,
fill you in if we do look it up. But it has to build a certain amount of air in like 1 minute or something like that.
To me, if you've pulled in, stepped on your brakes to stop, and you've backed up, you kind of got crooked, you pulled back forward, you stepped on your brakes, you backed up some more, and
your buzzer goes
off, or you're low on air and it hasn't stayed with what you're doing, there's a problem with the truck. It's not going to keep up.
It needs to go from 85 to 100 PSI, 45 seconds if it's just a tractor, or 60 seconds if you're hooked up.
There you go, Jim.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Yep.
I mean, that's so a minute, with the unit. So we have to, it's just something that's going to help us and help you guys a lot. It won't be nearly as frustrating for you guys. And also that carbon and all that kind of stuff, that does go through and eventually get to the transmissions. That's some of our transmission faults, the MTM, Dave.
MTMs,
Yeah, the MTM's failing, and we can combat this if we work together, just like everything. Be a team.
Have some situational awareness.
Yep.
Love it.
Don't just, my truck doesn't build air. We can fix that.
Yeah. Let's see. Please honor your start times for cores. We've had some very motivated people the last few mornings, which is great. We love your ambition. But if you have a 4 a.m. under the can start time, please pull in there at 4 a.m., not at 3 o'clock or earlier. The reason we ask you to do this is we need you towards the end of the day, and we didn't need that core's load picked up quite so early. So,
I mean, I have to bring it up, Jam. You've eloquently said that, but what we're talking about in enthusiasm is we had a 4 a.m. start time, or 4 a.m. load under the can. The truck was out of here at 2:30.
Yeah.
So there's some enthusiasm. It's just not necessary.
Yep.
So, and then you guys all got to remember, there's no support here at that time. I mean, the shop's usually out of here, and if something goes on or something happens, there's that piece of it that's very important.
Yep. Yeah. Also, if you have a 4 a.m. start time and you show up at 2:30 and you have a problem with your truck, you don't get wait time.
It's not. That's not put in the system. Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else for the discussion before I move on to our safety topic of the week?
Situational awareness.
Yeah.
Well,
got to help us out, you guys. We're out there to win the Super Bowl. However, whatever analogy, sports analogy, whatever you want to come up with, we need to win the Super Bowl.
how often do we need to do that?
Every freaking day, Jim, right?
Every load.
Yep.
Yep.
Winning. All right. Safety topic of the week. Brother Dave, you could relate this to situational awareness, I'm sure. But it is about what to do around first responders, right? If we are out on the road and we have some emergency vehicles coming up, to get to an accident, obviously we want to move out of the way. if you are on a highway and there's flashing lights coming up in the left lane, absolutely move over to the right, let them by. But if you're in a traffic situation where it's bumper to bumper, I understand it could be a little confusing, like, well, where do I go? Well, if there's already an existing hole, right, for people to pass by, leave that hole open. A lot of times, especially on the East Coast where I come from, grew up learning, you move to the right, you move to the right. Well, when everybody's gridlocked, sometimes you got to move to the left. We had a situation the other day where, Highway 85, and I forget, was it 136 or 160, wherever it was.
Up there, Jim, yeah.
Yeah. There was a big 6-car pileup and traffic was stopped, and here comes the fire trucks and the police. It was kind of like the Red Sea parted. People moved to the right and people moved to the left, and there was a hole right down the middle. That is totally okay. Super Dave, you said it really well the other day in a meeting. Sometimes the best thing to do is just stop. They got smaller, more agile, more capable vehicles to just go right around you. Now, if you're blocking them and they can't get around you, they're going to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Jim.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's the situational awareness, Jim.
Yeah.
If you stop and they can't, you're going to know if they can get past you where you stop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I glanced up back to the podcast notes here, Jim, and I know your safety topic of the week, but I just had in my head that we were going to Armando's, tips and tricks. And you said, what do you do around first responders? And I read the art of trimming and tonnage. And I'm like, what? Man, those two don't have anything to teach each other. What am I missing here? So,
you're missing some situational
awareness, right? Right. You need to pay attention here. But
that's
fine. And that's what I was thinking. And I know you said Super Dave said that. And in so many situations, if you're just unsure, just stop. We haven't talked about that it seems in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop.
Yep.
Not stop maybe in the middle of the road, but if you're just unsure, you don't know where you're going, you don't know how to do something, you haven't been in the job site, you don't know where to back up, you don't know where to get your ticket signed, just stop and figure it out. Don't just go dump. That's not stopping. We got to stop and assess the situation. What was the words, Dave? Let your form a mental picture by stopping
yes.
and figuring out what needs to be done.
Including key elements such as observation, orientation, forming a decision, and taking action.
Yep. Someplace in there should be some communication. I mean, at least call, do something. So, because we hear about, the trainers being called, other drivers being called, that's a great source. Discuss it with somebody. Because if they're truly a good mentor, they'll know, or they'll tell you, no, stop, you need to go in and ask. Go find out. So.
Excellent. All right. Tips and tricks with Armando, the Sergeant Del Val. In my understanding, Brandon Maciel in 0025 had his hand in helping out with this one. So shout out to Brandon. And this one is, as Jim said, number 43, The Art of Trimming and Tonnage. Good morning, JFW family, and welcome back to another week of Tips and Tricks. Please remember that the purpose of these tips and tricks are just ways for us to be helpful, better, and safer drivers on the road. Let's be JFW professionals. Whenever you're getting loaded by a loader, please remember that there will be times that the loader will either load you a ton or two over. I would sometimes hear drivers on the radio calling the loader, telling him he loaded them too heavy. It is not their responsibility to load us to the exact tonnage we asked for, although that would be nice. Yes, they get us close to what we asked for, but if we get loaded heavy, we'll either have to trim or dump everything out and get reloaded. So when I mean dump everything out, that's only because I'm way too heavy on my front axle. So trimming from the front is going to take a lot of work and time, because you'll either have to shovel the material from the front to the rear or start shoveling material out of your trailer, which I would not recommend doing. I agree. Instead, I just get on the radio with the loader and ask them if I can dump and get reloaded. Know that at some pits, we aren't allowed to stand on top or be inside of our trailers. If they catch you, there's a good chance that you can be removed from that pit. So there's a few ways to trim. I've seen drivers trim by opening up the tailgates, start reversing, and slamming on the brakes to get some material out. I wouldn't do that. That's not how I would trim at all. I also seen drivers raising their trailers until the material starts coming out. And lastly, what I do is I prop my tailgate open with my mini sledge and start scraping some material out with my shovel. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I only do this if I have to scrape out a couple tons. If I'm about 3 tons or more heavy, I'll ask the loader if I could dump and get reloaded. I will note that I've never had to trim more than a ton and that I only had to dump my load one time to get reloaded, and that was because I was too heavy on my front axle. I will say this, though. When I first started working here, I always try to be as heavy as I can. I always wanted to be at least 91,500 pounds gross when taking secondary roads. I always wanted to be 84,500 pounds when going through the interstate, and I always wanted to be at least 79,500 when going through a port. Trying to get these weights will pay you more at the end of the day. However, there's also a good chance you will be overloaded. Then you have to trim and probably lose more than what you asked for and lose about 10 to 15 minutes by trimming. If you're that driver that has been trimming a lot of times these past couple months because you're trying to reach your max weight, drop it down a ton. Instead of asking for 26 when going through a port, ask for 25 axle legal. Instead of asking for 28, ask for 27. And instead of asking for 32, ask for 31. I've rarely had a trim now just by asking for these numbers. Yes, sometimes the loader loaded me a ton over of what I asked for, but I would still be good on my weight or only had to trim a couple 100 pounds. Now, I can't even remember the last time I had a trim whenever I dropped it down a ton. Yes, I'm making less money than what I would make by going at least 1 ton more, but by saving that 10 or 15 or 20, sometimes 20 minutes, that gives me enough time to grab my extra load at the end of the day. Please let me know on Connect Team what you think about this week's tips and tricks. Thank you all again for listening and for the positive feedback. Let's start doing things the JFW way. Until next time, Armando the Sergeant Del Val, 0073. Together we can be better.
Yeah, great tips and tricks. I mean, that's the art of trucking right there. That's bulk hauling, that's in dumping. That's the essence of getting the most out of your loads. And he is so right. And we've tried to teach that all this time is, just ask for a ton less, you get going, it's easier than messing around with it. And when he said you're making less money, you truly are, but you pick up that last load,
right,
and you've doubled your money.
Yeah.
We've proved that over and over. And I know we've talked about it before on the podcast. We used to around here in the 80s, we'd push every load. What, can we get 100,000 on? Can we get 100,000 on? And finally DOT come in and go, we're tired of writing you tickets, did an audit, the whole bit. Said they'll just pull us over all the time if they just see us, and said, you guys need to start doing it right. We went back to loading legal, and we picked up a load because we weren't spending all that time getting loaded. We weren't overweight. We weren't trying to trim or shovel or do all this stuff and drive slower and everything else like that. A whole load a day we picked up. Per truck. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I tell everybody it's about efficiency. It's about time at the end of the day. The pits open at 6, they close at 4. So the more efficient you are, not having to reload or trim and obviously it's going to happen. That's inevitable. But if you can reduce that and be more efficient at the end of the day, you either will get an extra load or it'll be a smoother day, less aches.
Yeah,
right.
Just good.
No, I was just, I would always, if you couldn't reach up there with the shovel, you can just climb in right quick. You know what I mean? And it seemed like when I was overweight, it was when you were going through a port and you just had to get a little off the back. Well, it was already away from the gate. You just climb in and you can easily, Dave, I think you're the one that kind of taught me is
20 pounds.
Yeah. Well, 20 pounds of shovel if you're throwing it out, but if you push it out, if you look on the ground and you have a wheelbarrow full, it's about 400 pounds. So if you're 800 pounds over, you'll push out what looks like 2 wheelbarrow fulls laying on the ground. And it's easy to visualize because it's in a pile. Right. It's like, oh, I can fill my wheelbarrow with that. You know what I mean? And it's just spot on and it's minutes. It's not like that took you a half an hour to do.
Right.
That's the speed and the essence of, I would rather do that by far than having to dump.
Oh,
you know what I mean? To dump, get in line, reload, guess again. What if you're over again or under? You know what I mean? I'm like, I can push out 800 pounds here in nothing flat and I'm on my way. Like it's just, but you just do it. It's just, again, situational awareness.
Yeah, just to clarify two things. One is, Armando said he used to run 84,500, right? Because that was
He
a
used
max.
to, yeah.
Right. Doesn't do it anymore. But just to be clear, the reason why we even would permit that is because of trimming, right? Because of the time and what could go wrong when you trim. So if you got a load that was 82,000 pounds, we're not going to make you go trim that off because you may trim too much. Now you're too light, then you want more, and it just creates a whole big thing. But if you're a person that's running 84.5 everywhere you're going and you get a ticket, we're not going to pay that ticket for you.
No.
You're doing that intentionally. That's not, hey, I've been running 78, 79.5 all day. I got a heavy one,
Yeah, I'm 82,000 on this
Yeah,
one, or 81.9, whatever
I'm going to take this one and,
Yeah.
so that's a lot different. And then what we're talking about is as far as picking up a whole load, if you're not getting a clear picture of this, let's say you were running a route and you're running it at 92,000 pounds and you could get 4 of those loads, right? And you're hauling, what is that, 5 extra tons to get, right? So you're hauling 5 extra tons 4 times, that's 20 tons, right? But if you took the interstate with legal loads, you would be able to get 5 loads, which is another 27 tons,
Yep.
right? So you're picking up 7 more tons for the day. You're not running heavy. It's easier. Everything else is just smoother. It's less dangerous. So that might be a decision to make, like, you know what? I'm going to run the interstate instead of the secondaries. Take legal loads on the interstate, and I'll get 1 more entire load than the 20 tons I would get by running heavy.
Yeah, you're spot on, Jam, and like Super Dave just said too. Some of the truck trickery or the efficiency is, if I had a 5-load day or a 4-load day going someplace, my first load I would pretty much ask always to be legal. For that's the DOTs usually sit up in the morning, right? You know what's going on. You don't have to push it. Then the next 3 loads, I'm not going to push it either. Maybe my last one, I'm going to ask for the max I can haul because I'm out of time for the day.
Right.
Let me,
that's a great idea.
If I can haul 80,000, I'm going to ask for 79.5 or something, or 85. I'm going to push that last load. I have some time to trim, but I know it's my time I'm wasting then.
Right.
It's my last load. I've maxed it out. But the other 3, I got the hell out of the pit and got going.
Yeah, that's smart. Running, like if you ran those 4 loads at 27.
Yeah.
And then your last load, you made it. Load it up. Get that 32 tons.
Yeah, push it. Ask for it because you can trim. And the loader's been loading all day long. It's probably the same spot in the pile. They know what they're weighing. The whole bit. So yeah, there's all sorts of truck trickery.
Yeah, now you've got 32 extra tons.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's situational awareness.
Could be. I formed a mental picture about my day.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah, and you use some key elements.
Yeah. Need to get the hell out of the pit, though, in the morning and get going.
Showing up on time helps.
Tom folk.
Yep. Soup, you want to hit us with that high road hauling?
Sure. Showing up on time in the morning is, I want to say, one of the most important things you can do.
Yeah.
Because the lines at the pit are longest in the morning. And so say you show up at 5:40 and you're out of the yard at 5:55, you don't lose your bonuses or anything like that. You think, oh, I'm on time, but you're automatically at the end of the line in the pit.
Yeah, but there's a long line in there in the morning.
So you've lost a load right there.
Huh.
Yeah. And the other thing too, though, is a couple of the guys for years here would go, here on time, but they were at the end of the line. But they usually went back up and got that last load. You know what I mean? Pushed at the end of the day and got that last load. But they understood they weren't going to be in here till 5:30 or 6.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just reversed it because the line was gone. Was their
absolutely
deal? But
they were getting the same amount of loads, just doing it at the other end of the day.
Yep. You gonna hit us over the head with it, Dave?
There you have it. This is going to surprise you guys. I have never done one like this before, but it made some sense to me. I don't know, remember where I saw something. I think it was an aha moment when I was driving home at night or something. I heard something on the radio. But anyway, when is anger a good thing?
I can name at least 5 times.
Is it ever?
I would say never, Dave, but
hate is bad. Anger is not necessarily bad if you use it for good.
There you go.
Yeah, I understand
There's
that.
different levels,
Yep.
right? There's, red level, which is bad. And then there's just maybe irritation,
Yeah.
which fires you up, right?
Would that be considered green level anger?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
I'm just a little pissed.
So
I just call it being passionate.
I'm gonna explain a little bit about that pissed off attitude here. While anger gets a bad rap, studies suggest it can be used to achieve difficult goals. When we feel we've been wronged by, say, a slow driver or maybe a noisy neighbor, our heart rate, blood pressure, and body temperature go up. It's nature's way to prepare us to confront the challenge. This might feel good in the moment, but people who are frequently angry are more prone to stress, disease such as inflammation, heart attacks, strokes, and pain. For these reasons, many of us repress anger when we feel it, or we were taught to suppress it, being told by our parents that it never gets you anywhere but into trouble. But repressing anger can still hurt our health, especially if the underlying cause isn't addressed. All emotions have value. Otherwise, we wouldn't have evolved to feel them, right? Just like the feelings of joy, sadness, and fear, anger helps us to react appropriately when necessary. Anger is the body's natural reaction when something isn't right. If you're feeling angry, it's a pretty good bet that someone is breaking your boundaries. We get angry when we feel violated in some way, perhaps verbally or physically. In many ways, it helps us to know who we are and where our moral boundaries lie.
Right.
Healthy anger is problem-focused, not people-focused. For example, researchers at Texas A&M University gave study participants a series of images that had been shown in previous experiments to elicit emotions such as sadness, amusement, and anger. Then they were given challenging tasks to do, like solving difficult puzzles or winning a video game, and the results showed that people performed best when feeling anger. Anger can be a powerful motivator. The same people at Texas A&M polled over 1,000 people about the candidates in the last presidential election, and their results showed the angrier they felt about a certain candidate or the campaign promises, the more likely they were to vote, no matter the candidate. Interestingly, though, feeling fear did not predict more voting. Anger seems to be an approach motivator, so when we feel anger, we want to go towards the problem. Although fear can help us focus on a threat the way anger does, it can many times lead to avoidance. Of course, giving in to your anger can backfire, leading to violence and hatred. Intense anger, rage, or fury usually leads to a negative outcome in any case. Being able to channel anger as any emotion will allow you to learn not only about yourself, but about others as well. Studies conducted in the 1980s have shown that when romantic couples got into an argument about an issue, which included anger and frustration, the most common outcome was an improved relationship. Anger motivated the people to communicate their needs. The goals that we have and what we're working towards really matter when you're talking about whether emotions are helpful or not. And of course, how we choose to respond when we're angry is very important. In order to tap into anger's energy, it is important to understand that excessive anger is counterproductive, but if you focus your anger into positive motivation, it can create positive action. Boom.
Boom.
And I tell you, I get my quotes off of Brainy Quotes. Okay. You just go into the webpage.
I love that one.
Holy crap, you guys. I tapped in anger and some of the best quotes came up. I loved it.
Wow.
And so here's a few of them. Anybody can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. Spoken by Aristotle.
Oh, of course.
Another one, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned.
Ooh.
Spoken by the Buddha.
Wow,
right?
That is a good one.
Yes, and anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured.
God, Dave.
Mark Twain.
Those are great.
Yeah. When
Man,
angry,
these are just
count,
great.
Yes. When angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. Thomas Jefferson.
I'd forget what I was mad about if I had to count to 100.
Right?
That was my grandma used to tell me, Jammy, count to 10. She called me Jammy. Count to 10. I was
Yeah. And I had to throw this one in because I'm a guy. A man who has never made a woman angry is a failure in life. By Christopher Morley. But anyway, there's some amusing quotes about anger. And yeah, it is a motivator. And it when you feel angry, you want to move towards that problem, you know?
Huh.
It's very true.
Yeah, Jesus showed righteous anger in the temple when he cleansed the temple and flipped that table over.
Mm.
Yeah, he was angry about what was going on there. So,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm going to cheat a little bit, or I cheat a little bit just because Super Dave mentioned he was doing something on anger. And then yesterday in my devotional, well, you were there was something about anger that Lisa was talking about. So it still kind of coincided that our Devo from yesterday, which I didn't know about 3 days ago when you said you were writing this about anger, came up and it was about anger. So, and to fill Jim's Saint, cup that he likes to hear, I got a cool little thing from Saint Simeon, and he did a work titled The Discourses, and this is Saint Simeon, a new theologian. He was alive from 949 to 1022. And in regards to how to effectively manage one's temper, he said, again, to be in control of one's temper and anger belongs to a wondrous struggle and extreme effort, but to attain to their complete quiescence and obtain serenity of the heart and perfect gentleness is the act of God alone and a transformation at his hand. There you go.
Wow. All good stuff there. The whole anger thing.
It can control you.
Yeah. But if you can control it, what a powerful,
yes, you can
weapon
motivate,
motivation, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff, ST.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any final thoughts from the brothers?
I was trying to save my definition of situational awareness, but I had to share it.
Oh man, that was an all morning.
I got it out there. I hope everybody is aware of their situational awareness.
Yep. And if not, try to work on it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Last week when I was off on Friday there, me and Holly were up in Greeley and went past the Vestas wind factory. It's actually a little farther north than Greeley, but they had a big safety banner out in front of their building, and the place is huge, obviously, because they're moving the propellers around and all that kind of stuff. The space they have to have, a couple of their forklifts, and then they've I've seen them in there loading a couple of trucks, and the trucks are trying to get out and stuff. But you think about their safety and what could happen in those situations, because everything is so big. It's multiplied on the size of it. I'm sure you're trying to set something down with that forklift, and whatever the propeller is, 100 feet or 150 feet. I know we've looked it up on.
I was going to say, I think they're 180, but there are different sizes,
right?
Yeah.
But you got your hand up there and you're trying to fasten it down. A movement in a 180-foot object that could be a foot, or a foot of movement, and lose a hand and that kind of stuff. But anyway, the safety banner out in front of the building, and it looks fairly new that's put up because I haven't noticed it is. And the question is who are we being safe for? That was the banner. And I don't know if we've talked about that ever that way of who, we talk about the families next to us. We talk about changing lanes. We talk about all that kind of stuff, but who are we being safe for? So then I looked it up, and Vestas has a whole code of conduct for their customers.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, here we are delivering down to our customer, and how many times are we involved with Brannon during the day? What kind of code of conduct do we have for Brannon? When we load the wrong materials, when we load, dump on the wrong piles, what code is that? And you think about some of the military people that we have working here, our Armando to think of one, and who's the gentleman that's at basic training, you guys that send us?
Oh, Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio. Yeah. But again, in the military and all those branches, there is a code of conduct. And, there's great movies about codes of conduct. We were just talking about Hacksaw Ridge and what's the one where he goes, you can't handle the truth. That was a code of conduct. And you think the one where
I think that's the movie, Code of Conduct.
Code of Conduct, is that the name of it?
The Jack Nicholson?
No,
one?
something men.
Few Good Men.
Few Good Men.
Yep.
And I know there's that one where the guy is the diving in the old school.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, that one. There's a code of conduct. And the Hacksaw Ridge, Jam, I don't know if you've ever watched it, but it came up in a quote with Dave yesterday, David, the CPA, and he asked for God, can I make one more trip? One more trip. And man, you guys, we have to have a code of conduct here. You have to have your own personal code of conduct, what you're willing to put up with, what you're willing to live with. And then we have to have a code of conduct for all our customers, whether they're our biggest or our smallest. But we have to take that on. And, if it is, one more trip, Lord God, let me make one more trip. And that one more trip was saving lives. And I asked David yesterday, and I know Dave's watching, you said you watched it. How many trips did that guy make up that?
I just looked it up. I have it right here. 75 men he saved.
75 men. There's a code of conduct. When, we can't even deliver the correct load, and this man saved 75 people's lives.
Imagine if you pick someone up and then brought them to the wrong spot.
Right? I'm gonna take them to the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, please, you guys, look inward at what your code of conduct is.
I love it.
That's my final thought.
Great. Well, this isn't a code of conduct, but it is conduct, but it is a creed.
It is a creed.
Let's say it and get on out.
Sounds
together.
Oh, wait, before I do that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Channel 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Tell all your friends and family about us. All right, I'm ready.
Hey, and sorry, Jam, I want to, because I don't know, we talked about it, but Amber's mom's funeral is tomorrow.
Yep.
Thursday. Yes.
Tomorrow, right? And I think me and Dave will try to go. I know Dave's planning on going. I know Joanne's kind of going and stuff like that, but I should have remembered and should have put it, but a shout out to Amber.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. For, I don't know, 2 years we've been saying, help find Amber's mom. And she was found, and now she's being put to rest. So
yeah, our prayers were answered.
Yep, that's crazy.
Yep. May she rest in peace and light.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. All right.
Guys ready?
Yep.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us. Together we are accident free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week.
Everybody be safe.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We worked for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. shiny red trucks just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a looking for another load. They just keep them doors closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.